Hello my friends, what's up? This is Ron here, and in this King of Fighters All-Star video, I am going to bring you the latest PvP tile list. And in this latest PvP tile list, we'll be featuring characters from the Special Signature Volume 3, that is SS King and SS Yuri Sakazaki. Both will be included in that list. So we'll see that what difference they are making in the list. And of course, this list will not include any Guilty Gear collaboration characters, because my friends, you know that people are still summoning those characters, people are still playing with those characters, and a lot of testing and a lot of things will go before actually making a permanent verdict on them. So my friends, the thing is, I am really late to bring this list. Actually, the list was published about 10 days ago, and unfortunately I was traveling back then, so I was not in a position to check out the list and talk about it. So I apologize once again. So I hope it's not too late for you, my friends. So let's go and check out, and we'll be discussing about 4 separate tile lists today. 2 of them will be the latest tile lists, and one of them will be 1 versus 1, another one will be 3 versus 3, and the another 2 tile list will be from the previous installments. So you guys can compare and know that which characters are actually falling really quick in the tile list, and which characters are retaining their position, which characters are improving their position, these sort of things, my friends. And I believe that by this time you guys already know that even if you don't play PvP, this list will be important for you, because the most powerful and dominant characters in the game will usually be on the top position of this tile list. So though it's a PvP tile list, it is to some extent we'll talk about the most powerful and dominant characters in the game, my friends. And as usually, this list is always brought to you by S4iNt, the founder of Omega Guild. So we'll talk about him and the guild and the tile list right now, my friends, without much further ado. So we are going to start our discussion with the 3 versus 3 latest PvP tile list. And of course, you guys know that creating a tile list is not really an easy task. So this is why a lot of rules should be maintained. And I would like to thank S4iNt, the founder of Omega Guild, and his big boys team, who actually puts immense amount of hard work to create these tile lists. And actually it is an awesome gesture from them to make this thing available for all of us. So big thanks to S4iNt and his big boy team. I really appreciate this sort of initiatives. So let's talk about the list, and before, I'm just going to briefly discuss the rules. And this is going to be based on 6 draft formats, and there will be no restriction and no imping stones added. And secondly, battle cards are optimized and best in slot. And of course, this list is contributed by top skilled players who are specially skilled in these characters. So this is not some random opinion, my friends. So let's go and check out the lists, my friends. As you can see, in tier 1 we are having our Queen Leona, BS Leona, still retaining her number 1 position. And of course, I will show you the previous list. You will see that she was already on number 1 position in the previous list. So big congratulations to our Queen BS Leona. And actually there is nothing much to talk about BS Leona. Just let me just show you. If you check out her skills, there's not a single PvP exclusive thing or any sort of PvP exclusive in her skills. Now that is massively important, and it clearly shows that how strong this character is, both in terms of defense and attack. And I would like to add one point here, that we always talk about high damage dealing characters, high damages and everything, but in all honesty, high damage is great, but it should also be supported with great defense as well, because without defense your character will not survive. And I will illustrate this thing when we talk about in some other characters. Stay tuned, my friends. So basically, she has a very decent skill set here, and exclusively excellent core with a great shield and all those critical rate, PG gain, damage. You guys all know that. We don't need to explain this thing anymore. Just know that she is the top PvP character right now. So in the position number 2, we are having Boss Syndrome Zero Original. Now, Boss Syndrome Zero Original is an exclusively strong character, and even after all this long time after his release, he is still dominating the PvP arena. That is massively important, my friends. And if we check the skills, there is once again no PvP exclusive in the skills, my friends. You can see no PvP exclusive whatsoever. Of course, this guy has double dots. He has both poison and bleeding. That is highly supported. If we check the core is going to support these dots. As you can see, the continuous damage enhancement of poison and all those critical rates and everything. But here is the most important core, my friends. As you can see, 30% chance to reset active skill cooldown upon landing a skill, guard included, on a bleeding target. And he has bleeding in his skill. So whenever he is going to land a skill on a bleeding target, he has actually a 30% chance to reset all active skill cooldown. That means it is not just reducing the skill cooldown duration, just it totally resets the skills. And this is why he can actually throw his active skills out of thin air, my friends. And the thing is, this amazing thing is going to work even the character is on a guard stance. How amazing is that? As you guys know that in PvP, guard is so common. In PvE, we usually don't or not usually much use the guard thing. But in PvP, a lot of people usually uses this guard thing. And this guard actually resets his active skill and has a 30% chance of resetting active skill. This is a massive thing, my friends. And though this 30% sounds a bit low, that 30% chance of resetting skills, and actually there is 70% chance to fail, but actually it works pretty decent way. It works really well. And also there is a 30% chance to increase attack by 40% for 7 seconds upon landing a skill on a poison target. So this character has 2 skills with poison and bleeding, and both are supported by the core. Also, this guy has a shield that is going to be activated when his HP is 50% or less. So once the HP goes down, this character instantly generates a shield. So amazing. So in the next, we are having Boss Syndrome Ignis, and we all know that he has also a lot of great stuffs going on in his kit and core. Amazing character, my friends. Next, we are having the first special signature volume 3 character, that is Yuri Sakazaki. And this is of course a 3 versus 3. This is the most important list, my friends. And here, Yuri Sakazaki is on position number 4. That is amazing. And Yuri Sakazaki is an attack type character. She deals a good amount of damage, but her skills doesn't really have any sort of PvP exclusive once again. And she has a lot of burn in her skills. Pardon me, that's burn dot explosion that is here. She's going to deal the dot explosion. And the most important thing goes in her core. That is beside all this critical hit and PG gain of ideal PG gain. She's going to deal burn damage equal to 70% of attack every 1 second for 3 seconds upon landing attack. That means this thing is in her core, and this option is not having any sort of cooldown. That means whenever this character is attacking the opponent, it is going to deal burn damage for 3 seconds. And we have already seen that there is a dot explosion here. So this thing actually makes this character do a good amount of damage. And also she has a shield as usually, but her shield is not as good as BS Leona, of course, because BS Leona's shield is generated when she is attacked by the opponent. And how massive thing is that? It doesn't really matter what is her HP, but if you attack Leona, she will generate a shield. So overall pretty decent skill and core that's supporting each other, and that places her on the position number 4, my friends. just ahead of BS Ignis, and I'm really sorry to see that my favorite BS Ignis is pushed back to position number 5. That's a sad thing, but it is what it is, my friends. BS Ignis has been released for a long time. He already dominated the list for a long time, and now he is on position number 5, and we are kind of expecting that he will be pushed even further, though I still have a great expectation on him that he will be on the tier 1 for a certain time, of course. Next we are having this SS Kula, and SS Kula Diamond, actually she makes the opponent's life a bit nightmare with her chills and freeze thing, and basically the freeze thing works really amazing on her. And if you check her skills, she has a pretty decent sort of skills, but I would say this one would be the most important because this is going to freeze the enemy for 3 seconds upon landing a skill, guard included. That means a lot, my friends. 3 seconds of freeze means your character will not be able to do anything against her. They will just stand still in freezed state, and she will be able to do a lot of damage to you. So this is why this character is so dangerous in PvP. So though in PvE, I would say she has a limited use due to her dot effects, because there is still no guild boss who is vulnerable against chill damage or cold spell. Still, she is a decent character, and she is a defense unit, of course a tanky character as well. So next, on the position number 7, we are having SS King, and that might be a bit surprising to a lot of you, but not really to me, because I have my reasons, my friends. And SS King is kind of a very talked about character. A lot of people actually, talked a lot about her because she deals a huge amount of damage. But the thing is, remember guys, I talked about while describing about BS Leona that damage is not everything. If your character is having a high damage, which of course SS King has, she can do a very high amount of damage. But the thing is, her defense is not up to the mark. Let me show you what I mean by that. Now, if we check her skills, the skills is basically, a lot of attack is going around here, lot of attack, and she also deals darkness damage, which is only the only dot in her kit, and I'll talk about it a bit later. But let's just check out the course. And of course there is a PG gain, attack, continuous damage enhancement of darkness, critical rate. These things are all good. These things are helping her to do a lot of damage. But the thing is, she doesn't have a shield. Okay, there are a lot of characters who are not having a shield, but she doesn't even have any sort of immunity as well. So that's a big drawback in her kit, I would say. And for this season, she is kind of vulnerable against, I would say, almost any character. Any character against any character, she is highly vulnerable because she doesn't have any shield, she doesn't have any sort of immunity or any sort of, defense mechanism in a special sense. Yes, of course, she's going to deal a lot of damage, and she also has this thing here that has a 70% chance to remove shield from target upon landing an active skill. So this is probably the only exclusive thing that is going on in her kit. And the thing is, she has only one dot in her kit, that is darkness. And fortunately or unfortunately, there are some characters who are actually immune to darkness. For example, say SS Kazmi. For example, say BS Ignis. These characters are totally immune to darkness, so she is not going to be very effective against those characters. Of course, she is going to do a huge amount of damage in PvE, but in PvP, those characters are kind of frequent, especially BS Ignis is so frequent among the PvP players. So, as a latest special signature character, her position at number 7. Even after, as you can see, even after SS Kula Diamond. So that is somewhat justifiable, as I have said in my explanation that she has certain lackings in her defense. And honestly, whenever I see her in PvP or PvE, that is kind of a soothing breeze to me because I'm kind of overly sure that I'm going to kill her in any ways. So next we are having this Phantom Ignis in position number 8. And he's from the Epic Quest. Of course, he's a free character, but you know guys, he is really hard to get. I haven't really got him yet. But he is a damn good character, my friends. He has double dots, he has a huge amount of attack. He has both Radiant or Starlight and Blackout or Darkness, both dots in his kit. And also in his core, there's a pretty decent core with all this PG gain, attack, everything. And this one has a decent PvP exclusive that is going to disable the attacker's active skill for 4 seconds. Man, this is 4 seconds. This is damn long, my friends. That means for 4 seconds, any character or his opponent is not going to be able to use any sort of active skill. How devastating that can be. This is so dope, my friends. And this core actually makes him pretty OP in PvP. So that is the description about the tier 1, and now you can see the tier 2. So I'm not going to describe all this character, of course, because this video is going to be hours and hours long if I'm going to talk about all this character. Just check out that in tier 2 we are having SS K-. Good to see that he is actually in tier 2 position number 1. Then we are having SS New Tango, Phantom Maxima, Phantom Zero, both side by side. And surprisingly, Phantom Maxima is ahead of Phantom Zero. That is a kind of surprising thing, but it is what it is, my friends. Next we are having BS Chrysalid, Mary Rose, SS Mary Rose, SS Yuri Yagami. And in tier 3 we are having the Paradise Hononka. The Paradise Honoka is even ahead of this SS Kazmi, SS Kyo, SS Honoka. My goodness, can you see that? Can you see that, my friends? And actually I had no intention to talk about her because she's on a lower tier, but boy, she is ahead of so many SS characters and even BS characters as well. So let's check out what's the big deal with her. And we all know that she has both Infernal Flame, that is Burn, and of course Radiant, that is Starlight, from her active skills. And if we check her cores, then of course all this attack and everything. And this one, Truth Behind Birth, this is a very important core for her because this is going to stun for 3 seconds upon attacking targets affected by Burn or Starlight. And we saw that she is having Burn and Starlight both in her active skills. So once this dot are applied to the opponent, and next time she attacks her, and that is going to give the opponent a 3-second stun. That is massive. For 3 seconds, the opponent is going to do nothing. But that is not the end of the story, my friends. She has a pretty unique PvP exclusive, my friends. Look at this. PvP exclusive applies the buff from active skills owned by the target for 5 seconds upon landing an active skill with a cooldown of 10 seconds. Now what does it mean? Now she has her own dot, that is Radiant and Burn. Of course she has the 2 dots, but she is able to actually use the opponent's dots. That means if she is fighting against, for example, let's say BS Ignis, she will be able to use the Ignis' bleeding on Ignis, and that will be for 5 seconds for sure. Now that's a pretty massive thing, and it's a pretty unique thing, I would say. Very unique thing. And this combined with the stun actually makes her devastatingly strong. Wow, so impressive, my friends. So it is really good to see that this collab character, non-BS or non-SS characters are so ahead of others. Even as you can see that all her contemporary characters, the SS Kazmi, SS Honoka, both were from the same banner, but still she is ahead of them. So good, my friends. So do not neglect these normal collab characters, my friends. They can actually be strong, and I believe that a lot of characters are actually having this potential. I would say, I know, for example, she has a very high potential to become a very high damage dealing and very effective characters, I would say. Though her survivability lacks a bit, but she is going to be bonker if you can use her in a good way. So I think I have talked enough about the 3 versus 3 tile list. Now I will show you the previous installment of the 3 versus 3 tile list so you can compare that what characters are doing what. And my friend, this was the previous 3 versus 3 tile list. As you can see, there are some changes, of course. New characters came. They disrupted the hierarchy, of course, a bit, but not too much. The tier 2 is almost intact. Tier 3 as well as it is intact. But there are some changes in tier 1. But none of these characters has fallen from tier 1, which is a pretty good sign, because in tier 1 actually all of the characters are more or less in to some extent in a very good position. So I'm back on the latest list, and let me show you the entire list as a full, so you can find your characters and you can have the good idea about all characters. As you can see, now let's move on to the 1 versus 1 tile list, and this is going to be 1 versus 1, and this is not going to be a team combination match. Of course, this is going to be just 1 versus 1 battle. And once again, we are having Leona on position number 1. Second, we are having BS0, and in third position, we are having BS Ignis. And next, we are having SS King, who is this time ahead of even her counterpart or partner, SS Yuri Sakazaki. And next, we are having BS Genis. Next, we are having SS Yuri Sakazaki, and of course, SS Cooler Diamond. And in this tile list, of course, the Phantom Maxima, the Phantom Ignis, actually he fell from the tier 1. That is kind of noticeable thing. He is on tier 2, of course, in position number 1, but he fell from tier 1 in this 1 versus 1. Okay, that is interesting. And we can see that, of course, SS Kazmi is on tier 2, and these are some changes. Of course, this 1 versus 1 format. As you can see, let me just show you the entire list. As you can see, and of course, I would like to mention something here. Let me just go back to the 3 versus 3 list. And actually, I forgot to mention that this list also includes the after buff results of Nameless and Ash Crimson. And I would say, to my frustration, they are still on a very low position in the game. As you can see, in tier 7, as you can see, Ash Crimson and Nameless on tier 8. So these buffs didn't really help them much at all. And same goes in the 1 versus 1 format. As you can see, we can see Ash on tier 7 and Nameless also on tier 7, but lots of ordinary characters ahead of them. So these buffs were not basically PvP focused, and as you can see, I don't know where these buffs went. They are not even very good in PvE as well. So that is a certain information that this sort of buffs should be, I think netmarble should work in a way that these buffs becomes a bit more effective. And this would be the previous 1 versus 1 tile list. As you can see that there are some changes in the latest model, as in the latest list. As you can see, that's basically it, my friends. So that was today's latest PvP tile list. I hope you enjoyed that, and I believe that this list will be highly disrupted once these Guilty Gear characters will be included in the list. And I'll be bringing the list as well. Of course, stay tuned, my friends, and subscribe to the channel to get the list before any others. And of course, the thing is, There are certain leaks about next banner that is going to be probably a BS banner, and Shizuru is probably joining our game as a boss syndrome character. I'm not sure that whether she's an SS character or BS character, but probably she's going to be a boss syndrome character because she has a boss tag in her name from the back in the King of Fighters 96. So look forward to these changes, my friends, and I hope you have a nice time with your game. Good luck with your pools. I wish you all the best, my friends. Hope to see you guys soon in some other videos, and till then stay awesome and peace out, my friends.